Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Altcoin Mentors YouTube channel. My name is Peter, and today I'm going to be talking about what to do after you take a loss. Sometimes what happens is that we get emotional after taking a loss. We've been on a good streak, and then you get a little bit of a loser, and then you can get emotional. You can get a little bit angry. And so one of the things that I do is I take a little bit of a timeout, I take a break, and I stop trading that item, and I might trade something else. So as you know, yesterday I took a loss on Bitcoin. I didn't try to catch the bottom. I was waiting for it to form a cup. It looked like it was doing that. The medium-term trend was still positive at that time. This morning it turned negative, but yesterday it was positive. So I thought that would still continue to the upside, and I was absolutely wrong. So I stepped away and I started looking at a different set of charts today, but something that I'm familiar with, which is XMR Monero. So early this morning, I tweeted out that Bitcoin had joined the others, that the midterm trend change and the overall trend change had turned to the negative side. So I was looking for something that hadn't turned, something that I could make a little bit more money on today, something that is an outlier, and that is XMR, Monero. So I wake up, I look at my charts, I look for nice setups. The medium trend is still to the upside, barely, it's neutral. It's still hanging in there. I look for a failed signal. So this is my failed signal right here. So what I mean by a failed signal is that we have a color change, confirmation, but there is not a confirmation. It's just a double color change. But as you can see here, the high here is lower than that. So that's not a confirmation to the upside. It's actually a fail. So I usually take a fail, especially on a downward trend, a short-term downward trend like this, as a good indicator. So I put in my position at 306.50. I got filled. I checked out my 1 hour ATR, it's 9.5. So my first stop loss is all the way up here, 905. It went down a little bit, it turned back up. But see what happens here, we have color change and we have an upturn, but the high is not higher than this recent one, and it's way lower than my stop loss. So then I wait a little bit, it starts to turn back. It goes towards medium support, just like it did over here. So I'm a little bit cautious over here. So as it's going down over here, I have my stop loss here, and I start trailing it, and I trail it, I trail it, because I'm afraid that it's going to jump up. So this time I'm willing to take a very, very tiny profit. But then it starts going lower, 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 lower. So I trail it, and then I hit my first target at 286. So I have my 4 hour ATR range, winner. I want to get back on the board on the plus side, so I just immediately take a hard exit at 286. So that's trade number one. So trade number two, same thing, same setup. If I move this candle, we have a fail again. It bounces off of short-term support, goes to the upside. We have a failed color change here, because almost the exact same setup here. It goes a little bit, change the color, but there's no confirmation to the upside. Right? And now the medium-term trend wave has changed to a short. So I get my sell signal, I put in entry at 286, it starts to turn, I put my first stop loss at above this candle over here, which is the 1 hour ATR. It goes down, I trail it again, it breaks 286, I trail that, trail a little bit lower, and then now it's at 274. And I'm looking forward to get to 263, which would be a nice return on my investment this morning. I have two winners and decent size. So if it goes a little bit lower, 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 but now I'm trailing it on my 1 hour ATR at 9.5. So right now the low is 272. So I put my stop loss at 281.50, which gives me a nice little profit, about a 2% profit on my second trade. And on my first one, that's $25 total, so that almost equals 8% for the day net profit. So it's not bad for two quick trades. I could get out now and have a better day, but I'm hoping that it runs a little bit down towards 263. So it's a little bit excitable today. Everything is going down. Bitcoin is close to major support. It's bouncing around 9,400. It tested the 200-day EMA on the dailies. So it's been in a very tight range ever since then. We'll see what happens to the rest of the coins. But today I was looking for a outlier, something that broke the patterns. This way, if it did break to the downside or to the upside, it would have a potential to run. That's why I chose XMR. Hopefully, this helps to give you a little bit of insight on what to look for when other things are doing the same exact things. Because today, most of the coins, if you look at the charts, everything from Bitcoin to Litecoin to Ether, even to things like Ripple and Bitcoin Cash, all the charts kind of look the same, except for one, which is Monero. And I'll take that back. Ether Cash looks a little bit different too, but that's a little bit different. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully you like what you see. This will help you trade a little bit better. Please subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments, please write them down. If you have any questions, put them down below. Thank you and have a good night.